Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Healthy Knitting. I'm Rosie, your host, and today is September 18th, 2013. I'm late. I wanted to do this over the weekend and a bunch of stuff came up. So here it is Wednesday and I'm recording today. It's nice and sunny out at least. So we're back in my living room and we will not be venturing into the kitchen today. I do have a little bit more time than last time, but still not as much as I would like. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, I've already forgotten how to do this. Okay, let's start with what's new and good. And I do have a list written out so that I wouldn't forget too much, which sometimes happens as soon as the video gets rolling. New and good. I have been very busy with a scanner. I borrowed a scanner from my nephew. I have the big type that you have to open the lid and all that kind of stuff. But if you want to just do photos quickly or documents quickly, this thing, it's super cute. It's like this big and you just put it all in and it can do double-sided. It can scan photo quality. That has been a blessing. So I'm actually going up to see them, not this weekend, I was going to, and then so it'll be next weekend. To give back the scanner and say hi. There is a move on the way, but it's not going to happen as soon as I thought, and this scanner was helping me out because I won't be taking all of my photos and documents and everything else when I move. So the more I could make virtual, the better for me, so that I can have everything just stored in a cloud somewhere so that it doesn't get lost or damaged. That is what I've been doing. So I've been very busy catching up on that and a few other things around the house, trying to get things gone, new homes for things, putting stuff, keeping the stuff that I need and finding a new home for the stuff that I don't need, which is challenging because every time I've moved, I've never really had the time to do that. And I've just taken everything with me and been like, oh, I'll just sort it out later. And I really can't do that this time when I move because I'm moving very far away and it costs a lot to move something far away. It's not like I can put it in a truck and move it. We're going over the Atlantic and, I can't just waste the time. I've got to do it before I go. So that's one of the things that's new and good is having fun scanning all these things and looking at stuff that I haven't seen in a while, because when you pull out pictures that you never look at because they're not convenient, you're like, oh, look at that. I remember, these great memories come back and, it's kind of fun. So I suggest when you have a second, just go through some old photos because it's really kind of fun. It brings up some good stuff. My face is still healing. It's not completely better. There's still some red marks and very dry, patchy skin as soon as the moisturizer wears off. But I'm still using the Muru butter, M-U-R-U-R butter, and that really is helping a lot. I've had no crazy outbreaks again of swollen face and rash-like symptoms, so that's a plus. And now that I have a couple seconds, I'll tell you a little more about what happened. It's kind of embarrassing because, sorry, just looking at something that came through my computer. I'm always like, buy organic and don't use pesticides and don't use all this stuff. Well, I had carpenter ants and they did a little bit of damage downstairs in my basement and I needed to get rid of them, and I didn't really know any other way that was going to be quick and like on the spot get rid of these things. But I didn't want to hurt spiders because I do love spiders, and I know if you don't like them, you're thinking I'm absolutely crazy, but I really do love spiders. They're always welcome around my house to kill any other bugs that are floating around that don't need to be here. Also, I didn't want to hurt the bees. And so I told them to just spray, right around the perimeter. And, they only sprayed in the basement once and that took care of it. There's no more down there, thank gosh. I'm like really happy that, it did solve that problem in that one area, but they were still kind of upstairs. They seem to have dissipated now, maybe over the time here they've gone. But I actually told the guy when he was here to spray, I said, I'm still having ants in my bedroom. And so I had the windows open and my bed is right near the windows. And the next thing I know, I happened to be sitting there. I'm really grateful that I was sitting there to shut the window. not that it really helped now, because he started spraying all along the top of the top part of the wall, so it would like spray down. And I'm like, what the heck? My window's open, so I slammed my window shut. But I think some of the residue got onto my bed, especially on my pillow near my face. I have very sensitive skin. I've always had to wear like eye makeup that was hypoallergenic and everything. Otherwise, my eyes get really irritated and red. And right now, I wear the organic mascara and organic foundation from Physicians Formula, and that is not causing me any problems at all. It comes off easy, and it's pretty easy on my face and my skin. However, it started to get a little itchy before I left for vacation, and I'm like, well, that's really weird. I didn't think too much of it at the time. I left for vacation, and by the time I got back, all my skin was not itchy anymore. It was very clear. Everything was fine. And I also called them and I said, hey, I don't really want any more spray. This isn't good, blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, we have this greener stuff we can use. I'm like, well, that's interesting. You didn't tell me about the green stuff before I even started, because I would have been more interested in something that was more green. So anyway, I had the windows open while I was gone, and they must have done the same thing again, and they sprayed, but this time I wasn't there to shut the windows, because when I came back the next day after I came home and woke up in my bed, my face was like blown up, swollen, and I looked like I had this severe rash all over my face and down my eye. And I think I came home over the weekend. By Thursday, when I went to knitting, I had makeup on, and my friend's like, are you covering a black eye? I'm like, oh my God, it looks so bad. And then it just progressively, every time I laid in my bed or I sweat or anything, there is a name for this. It's not the chemicals anymore that's a problem. It's that now my skin has this irritation issue that as soon as it gets wet or moist, it's going to have this reaction. And I've had this once before on my hand. When I was working in a nursing home cleaning, and I got chemicals burn rash thing on my hand. And for years, I couldn't wear rings or a watch. I never wear a watch. I could tell you what time it is without a watch now, because I haven't had one on in so long. I could, like, within 10, 15 minutes, I can tell you what time it is. But I'm kind of like, I hope this doesn't last on my face that long, because as soon as I sweat, it's like instant rash irritation on my face. So anyway, the Maru butter is helping. I haven't had an outbreak since, I don't know, a week and a half now. So yay, it's coming down. No more chemicals ever. I don't care what it is. If it's some kind of bug that needs something, I think I'll just pray, because I don't even know. That was just ridiculous, crazy. Anyway, so that's the story of the face. And it's still, like, you can still see it. It even went down to my neck. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And it actually hurts down here a little bit, like raw skin. Okay, so on a better note, adding photos to Ravelry. I was telling you that I just found that feature that you can do that right off your camera or right off of your computer. And so I put some photos in there. It's so fun to actually have stuff in there. And I would love to actually have all of my things done, but I know it will take a while, and perhaps while I'm packing stuff up, I will take photos of my yarn and then, have it all in there. And when I have a free minute, I can just pop it in there, because I don't really have the time to take everything apart and put it in now. Maybe some of my clothes, maybe like one or two a day, I should probably pull out and take a picture of, but I forget until I go on there and I'm like, oh yeah, and then it's not the right light. I think I've told you my house is usually very dark in where I'm at right now, but it is almost 4 o'clock, so the sun is coming over, which means I now get light in my living room, which is pretty good. Bedroom it has good morning light. Anyway, so I'm very happy about the picture feature, and I'm having fun with that and putting stuff up, because now I can feel like, oh, I can contribute, because I feel like I'm such a slacker. I look at people's pictures all the time and get inspiration and so much help looking at the pictures, and here I am just being a user and not a giver. So now I can be a giver, so I'm pretty happy about that. I also, speaking of Ravelry, I've been cleaning up my queue a little bit. I had some reality checks, and I'm kind of like, even though I still have an ungodly amount of projects in there that will hardly ever get knitted, but at least I'm a little bit more like, really, you're not ever going to make that. Even for that one little piece of information you liked out of it, just take it out of your queue because it's too much overload. So I've really only gotten rid of like a couple pages of queue. It's a drop in the bucket, but at least it's a little something. And the other thing is I took a walk up to Peterskill up at Mohonk the other day. Sunday? Yeah, I think it was Sunday or maybe Saturday. I can't remember now. But it was a beautiful day. I live in New York in the United States, and right now it's getting a little chilly, which means it's sweater wearing time and sock wearing time, and get out your warmy woolly things. So I'm so excited because I do love this time of the year. I mean, I do make summer clothes, and some people don't like to make summer clothes, but I do like wearing cotton and knitting with cotton. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute, but fall is the time when you can just get cozy in your woolies, so I do love it so much. So Peterskill. So anyway, I'm so easily distracted. Peterskill is a beautiful area. It goes up from the preserve to the state park, and I only got up to a small piece because I actually wasn't intending on going for a walk, and then I'm just like, just go. And the parking lot where I normally go is full, so I went to the next one, which meant totally different walking area because I didn't have time to walk over to the other one and then do the walk. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just go up to Peterskill. And I haven't walked up there in a while because the river, when we had Hurricane Irene come through, it took out the bridge, so you can only go so far, and it was not really that far of a walk at that point. So I just went up to the first lookout area, which is absolutely stunning. I had some fun playing around with my iPhone. You know how it does the panorama shots? So I was doing panorama shots going from here, laying down, and then going up around my head so that it actually had landmass here, sky, and then more landmass pointed at each other. It was pretty funny. So I was having a kick with that because I always forget about that feature, and we were just using it on a hike the other day. So I'm like, oh yeah, I just pull that feature out and start using it. So I was actually going to go this week for a walk, but I don't have time. Maybe this weekend I will. I'll go back because now that the water is low, they haven't fixed the bridge yet. You can actually cross the stream and get over into the state park. So I think I will do that for a nice long walk Saturday morning. No, I can go Saturday morning. It's kind of nice to go to a different side of this park. It's pretty big, the preserve, and you could walk up to the Mohonk Mountain House, which is another area of land. It's a huge area. So here's the preserve, here's the Mountain House and all of their land, and then on this side is all a state park. So it's really ginormous. It's a beautiful park, and I love walking up there. And so I'm planning on doing that. So that was really fun. And another new, but I'm not so sure good, it probably will be as soon as I get used to it, is I downloaded the new operating system for the iPhone. It's always like that with something new, right? And I do like new. I like new for good change, not new for new's sake. And I think some of the stuff they changed for, I don't know, whatever reason why they changed it. But to me, it just kind of looks Mickey Mouse now. It doesn't have the thing that I liked about the iPhone before. So it's really different. So if you're not sure about it, you might want to look at what it looks like before you download, because some stuff is different and I'm not quite a fan yet. Jury's still out. So anyway, that's enough of new and good. I think I've bored you all for now. Holy cow, 13 minutes. So on and off the needles. I told you I finished the green cowl, and I put a picture of it in my Ravelry page. So LESPETISLUXES on Ravelry. And so if you'd like to look at a picture there, I probably can stick one in the show notes. Yeah. I think that I'm adept to being able to do that. I just have to remember to do it. So that cowl's finished and went to my friend Thursday night at knitting. I finished it right after we talked. I'm pretty sure that I didn't have it done. I didn't block it either. She's a knitter. She can block it if she wants to. I just wanted to get it to her. So, and then I'm sitting there going, oh, well, what else do I want to make? Well, I wanted to have something on my needles just like that, because I really like that cowl a lot. And you know, I didn't even tell you what it was before. It's the willow cowl, and I have now thrown out my pattern into the recycle bin because I have done 2 cowls and I've written all over it and it's a disaster. So it's the willow cowl. I will put it in the show notes. I made another one for myself because it was so cute. Now, this one I had just a little bit less yarn. I had 100 grams of Still Mill River. You know what? I am going to look this up while I'm talking to you because I keep doing this and it's not right that I don't have everything the way I'm supposed to. Projects. So the Willow Cowl is by Amelia Lyon, Lyon, and this one is made with Still River Mill local harvest fingering weight. Now there are 200 yards in each ball that I had. Oh, and you know, I wanted to show you what this, I love this yarn. It is made with 34% wool, which is Rommeldale wool, and 33% alpaca and 33 mohair. I bought this at New York Sheep and Wool 2 years ago, I think it was. Oh yeah, you can really see the red marks. Now I'm calling this done, but really I still have to fold over the picot edge and sew it down. But I used absolutely all of the yarn. There was really none left, so I need to go find another yarn and sew this up. But I mean, you know, it's pretty much done. I can do this finish this another day. I'm gonna stick this on. I did actually cast on with the amount of stitches called for in the pattern, which I think was 160. I did the decreases. I did the same amount of decreases. I just kept decreasing and decreasing because I knew that if I didn't, I would run out of yarn. I think from here to here was 1 ball, and then I got the second ball, did all the rest of this. I was kind of worried I was going to run out, so that's why I really kind of, I did, I think, 10 rows of each instead of 12. You're supposed to do 12 and 14. So I did, and I did decreases pretty much all the way through this thing to get it down to, I think, on the 17th one, 18 and then knit 2 together. So here's the cowl. And I like it a lot. I think it'll be something that I'm going to wear a lot because I do like red near my face. I'm a winter, so I can wear reds. I can't wear oranges. I love orange. I just gave away an orange hat. Oh, I loved it, but it's right near my face and it's just not going to fly. So anyway, while we're talking about it, this is my review today, which is this yarn. So Still River Mill. I always want to say it the other way around. Still River Mill. They are, where are they from? They're from Eastford, Connecticut, and they're always at Sheep and Wool. And I always buy things from them because they have interesting yarns with different kinds of things that you don't see very often. Like last year I bought Samoyed dog hair and I made a hat out of it. So nice. I actually ran into a Samoyed dog at the pet store and oh my God, they're so beautiful. This big fluff ball. I mean, I really was like, can I brush your dog and have some hair? So I love the hat. It's really nice and it doesn't smell like dog or anything. It's just soft and fluffy and it's really cool. So they have odd things like that. They have a lot of bison and cashmere and Angora. I think they have Angora. I could be wrong. Cashmere. I know they have cashmere because I bought plenty of cashmere from them before. Just different blends that are really nice. And I have a bunch of these in like 1 or 2 skeins and I just save them as the pretty yarn that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with. And, you know, I'm like, just use the pretty yarn. If it's not perfect and you don't like it, you can rip it out and make something else. Because I do that. I'll save these really nice special yarns and I won't get any use out of them, and that doesn't really help me out. So I love the yarn before I knitted it, and I love it even more once I have knit it. And so I would highly recommend this. It's very, very squishy. It doesn't feel There were a couple pieces of veg matter that came through, but nothing worse than, excuse me, now I've got hair in my mouth. Nothing worse than, you know, how when you get a Noro skin and there's a little piece of veg matter in there. So it wasn't anything horrible. The spinning was not totally perfect. There were a couple of thick spots that came through, but nothing that would ever deter me from saying I'm not going to ever use this yarn, because I totally would use this yarn again. I like it a lot. So that's my review for today. It's coming earlier since we're already talking about it. So that's finished. As you can see, I'm wearing the jacket. I'm going to swoosh this down a little bit so you can see this. So if I stand up, then I'm too tall. So if I had made the back panel with 6 of these, holy cow, 6 of these pattern repeats, which is here to here, I would have had this much extra in the back, because I only did 5. This is huge already, and I'm glad that I didn't, but I probably could have cut the front down by that half panel on each side in order to put the placket on still, because now I feel like it's a little too big and boxy. And I knew it was boxy going in, but you know, sometimes our brains look at things on models and go, geez, she looks so cute in that. And I'm like, I don't look so cute in this. But I'm hoping, because I haven't blocked it yet, I'm hoping that if I put it in the washer and dryer, it will just kind of like figure itself out. So next time I go do laundry, this is coming with me. I'm just going to wash it and dry it like normal. I always wash them cold anyway. I use that spin thing. Have you guys ever, well, you probably, who knows? I have to go to laundromat because I already explained, I'm not buying a new washer and dryer because I'm moving, and where I'm going is in a different country and we don't have the same plugs. I'm not moving washers. Anyway, so I've dealt with not having one. So I go to the laundromat and they have those big spin machines where you can spin out all the water for 50 cents. It's a blessing, because then my drying time is like 10 minutes. And I don't have to spend, like, people just like shove the quarters in there like for half an hour. I'm like, I don't have that kind of time, people. Use the big spin out thing and you're going to waste a whole lot of electricity and time with the dryer. So I always do that. So I'll spin that and then throw it in the dryer and see if I can get it to shrink up just a little bit, because you can see it's kind of big. Like, I can pretty much wrap this thing over. Like, I didn't need to do that extra half thing in the front. So I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to put the placket and buttons on it. It will get decided when I get done from the washer and dryer. And if I don't like it, Salvation Army, because I'm not going to reclaim this. You know, as it is, you know, there's just so much to do. But anyway, actually, it's kind of chilly in here. It's 60 degrees in my house, which is on the chilly side, but it's not bad in the spring or the fall to have it be chilly. It's when it's wintertime and it's 60 in here that's when it feels cold. So I usually put my heat to like 65 in the winter and I wear warm things. So I'm wearing my, how do you say this thing? Adiz cardigan by, the girl that worked at Webb's. What's her name? She now works for Skacel. It's on the tip of my tongue. Yep, her. You all know who I'm talking about. Pretty sure that's who designed this. It's super cute, which this is when she was working for Barocco, I think. And I love this thing. It's super comfortable. I kind of like stuff that falls over, but it's not too much in my face, because I don't want it to be in my face a lot, you know. Oh, and my sleeves are nice and extra long, because I have a problem with sleeves. I always make them too short, but these are extra long because eventually I know they're going to shrink. So anyway, so that's it for, you didn't even know what this was, from Vogue Knitting. Spring, summer 2008 or 9 or something. It's in the show notes, but here's where we're at. And I do think that this, once I block it, this front will stop rolling a bit. I decided I didn't bother doing anything with it. I don't think there was even anything in the directions to do anything with this. I think it was just left as it is. So washing and drying, and this is with Lynx yarn, Links, Fiber Natura organic cotton worsted weight, which I really do like a lot. I have more, so I'm planning on more projects. So what is coming up? Well, actually, no, there's more on the needles because I started something today. I was going to start it yesterday because yesterday was 17th, and this is for the them along with the Knitmore girls. They're doing a Martina them along, and I think you can knit any pattern you want, and I don't even know for how long it's going till, because I'm very informed. I know they just talked about it in the latest podcast, but I haven't had time to listen to it. And when I was listening to the last one, I was busy doing things at the same time, so all I caught was them along and the code, and I bought the Hitchhiker. Now, I wanted to buy the other one also, the one that's like that long shawl thing, but I forgot, and then I'm kind of like, it's not anything I'm going to knit right now, so I don't like to buy too many patterns anyway before I'm ready to knit them, because I change my mind so frequently about doing stuff that I'd rather just wait until the minute I'm ready to cast on. So anyway, I did get the Hitchhiker, and I have 4 skeins of Santa Fe yarns from Aslan Trends, and this is their sock yarn, and this is the stuff I told you I make a lot of socks on. Actually, I'm wearing a pair of socks right now made by them, complete with cat hair, because that is what happens in my house. Yes, I have cats and they make hair continually. Anyway, I love this yarn. It's nice and soft and squishy, and it's really durable for socks. I did repair those ones back in the first episode. I did pick up that 2 stitches that I dropped, and they look fine now. You wouldn't even know. I think I did it with, what did I do with? Some kind of, like invisible thread I did. Just tied knots in it and put it together. So anyway, I have 4 skeins of this, so I shouldn't run out because this is more yarn than what's called for. Because I think if you don't use a big skein, you can run out of yarn. And again, it's red. I like to wear red. It's a little bit variegated with reds, and like, it's kind of hard to, everybody else's cameras seem to do so much better than mine. But there's some red and some almost like a purpley red and some tan colors going on in here. And so here is my Hitchhiker. I've gotten one little square done. I just did that today. This will be great for when I go to knitting, because it's just back and forth and making those little things. I should screw it up too terribly badly. And that is tomorrow already. Tomorrow's Thursday already. I'm not sure where the time is going. The other thing, and oh, here's Natalia. She was being a pest a minute ago. Hello. I'm cute. I'm so seriously cute. She is very cute. She's always in my stuff. So you've seen this before. It's back in, obviously I haven't done anything yet because here is a big hole where a sleeve belongs. But because I've already knit newer things after I've completed things and didn't follow my rules of now you have to go back and finish the old stuff, I really have to go back and finish this. But this is not something I can take to knitting because I really have to pay attention. So probably this weekend I'll work on that because I don't really have any time until then. But the Hitchhiker I can just pick up and work on whenever. That was the great thing about this cowl, is that you could really just pick up and work on whenever. It's kind of like having a pair of vanilla socks in your pocket. So, which I don't. I still haven't put those other socks on the needles, and I probably won't for a while because I don't want to have too many things going on. Then I won't get anything done. It's just what happens to me. I would rather work on something all the way from start to finish and be done with it than to have something linger, because this is what happens. It just, oops, no, not this. This is not linger. That got off on awfully quick. This is what happens. A sleeve won't get done. The other thing I wanted to do is, well, now that I know you can take pictures, I can't tell you how many knit-alongs I've done, and I have not actually put my name in because I couldn't. It's not that I couldn't. It's that I didn't want to deal with putting in the pictures. So now that I can take them off my computer and put them into Ravelry with a snap, this is not a problem. So now I can join a knit-along and actually participate in a thread with photos if I can deal with all of that. So I'm going to give it a try. I don't know how to actually put the picture in the post yet, but I'm sure I could figure that out. It's a lot easier than actually having to take the photos off of a Flickr account and then put it in there. So for another knit along, I'm considering, it's called the Gemstone knit along with Dragonfly Stores, Vicky from Dragonfly Stores. And so I only have a few things of blue that are sapphire color in my stash, surprisingly. I have a lot of stash and I only had a handful of blue. This is yarn I spun myself and dyed. It's coming out a little bit more purpley than what it really is. Is that right? It's a little less dark than this, but it's still all these pretty colors of blue. And I dyed this with my spinning guild in a canning jar so long ago that we're talking probably 20 years ago. I'm not even joking. What year is it? 2013? Yeah. It's a long time. So we're talking old stash. We're talking old stash. And this is really coarse. I don't even know what kind of wool this is. I've got no idea. I thought because, you know, I just showed you my socks with all the cat hair. I need another pair of slippers. So I thought maybe I could make a pair of slippers. I don't even know how much yarn I have here, but it's kind of bulky yarn. Kind of bulky, and it's super scratchy. And it's not anything that I would wear on my skin, so it's never going to be a hat. It's never going to be a scarf. It would drive me insane. But it looks like there's enough here that I could make a pair of slippers just to keep the cat hair off my socks, because I don't mind washing my socks, but you have to then take the cat hair off. It's a whole nother thing. So that's coming up. I'm not going to, I think this has to be done by the end of the month because it's all for the month of September. So the Bemmelong, I think I have a little longer. I think it's because it just started yesterday. So I'm sure there's more time than this one. And then I want to get this sweater done. The incentive for this is because it's getting cold. Like I can actually wear this now. It's not summer anymore. And this is super, oops, dropping stuff. Super nice and soft. So that is it for what's on and off the needles and what is up next. All right, I've done that. There is no spinning. I still don't have anything in mind that I want to spin for. And with all the stuff I've got going on, I'm not sure if I want to tackle something right now. I probably should, but it's just not on the radar. I've got so much going on. The whole move thing is a little bit like daunting in itself. So anyway, she sits there staring at me. I walk past her every day and she's like, hey, come play with me. And I'm sorry. Okay, so healthy tips. Did any of you drink any more water this week? Did ya? I have water here right now. Some nice hot water in my favorite mug my friend made for me. Did you feel anything different? Did you feel better? Let me know. Why don't you join the Ravelry group and tell me what happened when you drank more water? Did you feel more energized? I swear that helps me out all the time. If I'm feeling tired, have a glass of water. So anyway, our healthy tip today, there's actually a couple, and one came about this morning. But I want to talk, do I want to talk about that one first? All right, let's talk about this one first. This morning, as the weather changes, I have a tendency to eat more warmer things when it's colder out to warm me from the inside out. Same thing in the summer when it's really hot out. I don't even want anything cooked. I just want lots of salad, and come wintertime, I'm like, oh, salad? Not really. It is just the way that my body works. It's what my body wants, is warm things to warm me up. So I had oatmeal today, and in my oatmeal, I had bought dried peach halves, and they didn't have any extra sugar in them. So when you look for your dried fruit, when you look for dried fruit at the store, please be aware that sometimes they put sugar in there, even though there doesn't need to be any sugar in there. So please read the labels, because that's what the labels are there for. It's bad enough that they don't tell us the processes in the labels, and they don't tell us what they've done to the packaging in the labels. They don't tell us a lot of things, but they do tell us what's in there. So they have to tell you if they put sugar in there. So please read the label, because you think you might be getting something that's really good for you, when in fact, it is really not. And you don't really need all that extra sugar. Dried fruit has enough sugar in itself. Sometimes it's hard to find things without the sugar in it, but if you go to the health food store, you might even be able to find these foods in bulk without sugar. Anyway, I had dried white peaches, and there's no sugar in there, and I had been eating, like, just take one or two and eat them as a snack while they're dried. Well, today I was like, wow, let me just throw them in the oatmeal while I'm cooking the oatmeal. So I put 2 of them in there, and I had forgotten how nice that was, because you can throw dried fruit and maybe some chopped up nuts or something in there and make your own type of oatmeal. Put in cinnamon or allspice, cardamom, whatever you like. You can customize your own I almost said yogurt. I don't know where that came from. Customize your own oatmeal. So when I was a kid, we used to have those little Quaker oat things. You ever see those little packages, and you add the hot water and instant food for your child? Well, those probably aren't the healthiest things for you. I did eat them, but I don't eat them anymore, because that is what was provided for me when I was a child. So you can make your own. Granted, it might not be instant. You can make the regular oatmeal, or you can make steel cut oats, which I like as well too. But I happen to have rolled oats for something else I was making, and I bought organic, and so number one, it's cheaper. I probably bought a pound of oats for half of what a box of Quaker instant oatmeal cost, And there you save the money, and you have your own spices, and you can do it yourself. I didn't put any sweetener in this because the peaches to me were sweet enough. But if you do like sweetener, maple syrup in oatmeal tastes really good. What else tastes? You might even like putting honey in there instead of sugar. Or if you do just want sugar, you can buy organic, fair trade, 100% cane sugar if you so chose. So it puts the control in your hands when you can make your own. And also you can use better quality ingredients, and you can get it for a song compared to what you'd buy the packaged version of in the store. So that's my tip for food today. My other tip today is we're going to talk about breathing, which I'm not doing right now. So breathe. Breathing is, like we talked about water, so we can't go for very long without water. We can go for even less time without breathing. Breathing's obviously very important. It's something we do involuntarily, but you can also control the way you breathe. And a lot of times we don't breathe enough to get good oxygen in our bodies, which also can make us feel very tired and exhausted and feel like we don't have enough life. Breathing also can make you feel very relaxed, and so it can reduce cortisol levels. It can calm you down from a situation where you're feeling very frustrated and like, just take 2 minutes and just breathe. You're going to feel much better, and you don't need to be all crazy. So it's a good stress reliever. So there's a few different ways to breathe. There's more than a few, but we're only going to talk about a couple because this is a short show here, and it's really a knitting show with healthy tips. So if it was the other way around, I could spend hours with you talking about breathing. So there's two methods that I wanted to give you for breathing. There's a method called 4. So it's 4 and 4. So you're going to breathe for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, breathe for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. So you do this several times and keep building up. And the next thing I'm going to show you is how you can breathe to take in more breath. But this 4-4-4 method is something you can do to just kind of like center yourself. And, when anything's bugging you, just breathe for a little bit and just take the time and spend it with yourself. You don't have to think about anything except for your breathing, which is helpful too, because now all you're doing is you're focusing so much on your breath that you're not thinking about any of the other junk going on, which is clearing your head. So you're just taking that little bit of time for yourself. If you can do that for 5 minutes, work your way up to 5 minutes, that would be great. Again, see what works for you. Give it a try. Breathe. Okay, now the other thing I wanted to show you is how to get more breath, because, and probably many of you who've done yoga, you know about yoga breathing in the stomach. I'm going to talk to you about breathing in through your back ribs, back here. Also, when you do yoga, I don't know if you've ever done yoga when you're positioned and like, okay, well, breathe into your left, like they want you to breathe into a different space you've now opened. Well, you can do that when you're moving around with yoga. You can actually open up these spaces and you can breathe through there. You can actually engage more breath. When you're just breathing up here, there's no way you can really get enough oxygen. Well, enough to breathe, but you're not like really getting enough to fill yourself with oxygen. So if you can breathe through your back ribs, I don't know, does that sound funny? Breathe through your back ribs. So I'm not going to inhale by inhaling up through here. I'm bringing the breath down here into my back ribs. There's plenty of room there. Like I can hold my breath or pull in breath for a very, very, very long time and fill in this expansive area and get more oxygen in. And then I have more oxygen to leave. I have more oxygen come in. So I'm not just doing this shallow breathing, which is not helping me out any. That's it. When I breathe in through my chest. When I breathe in through my back ribs, a lot more that I can bring in and a lot more that I can feel better with. So give that a shot and see if you feel any better breathing in through your back ribs. This also works well if you're exercising and you feel like you're gasping for air. Just start bringing some more air in through there. Into your back ribs, you'll just be able to get a lot more oxygen flowing through your body. Okay, so, and that's the other thing, when you're feeling stressed out, can you just center and give yourself some breathing time and see how you feel? Comments are welcome in the thread over on thread. I haven't set one up, but if anybody I'll put it in, this episode's up. If anybody wants to comment on the water and how it made them feel, or about this new thing about breathing, if you're not used to breathing, has it helped you any? Or is there another thing that you'd like to know about? So we've gone through the two things that are completely necessary for us, is breathing and water, and we have been talking about food. We'll talk some more about food next time, but I'm trying to find ways to not overwhelm with too much information, but just little things that you can do every day for a week that can make a difference for you. So the more water and the more calm centered breathing you can do, you're going to feel better. Okay, so I think that's it. I don't have a book review today. I have books, but I haven't had time to really do any type of a good review, and I don't want to do something that's too shoddy because I'm already rushing through so many things as it is. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and the Ravelry group is Healthy Knitting over there, and Le Petit Luxe on Ravelry is me as well, and I think it's healthyknitting.blog. It's not Blogspot, it's WordPress. Holy cow. I think it's Healthy Knitting. It'll be in the YouTube link, and it'll be in the podcast. It'll be everywhere, and you'll be able to figure it out. So show notes to follow soon. I haven't had a chance to write them up, and I have to go, so they won't be put up till later. Thank you. Bye.